And right, welcome back. This event is part of the 8th Annual Startup Boston Week Conference, and I am Harish, and I'll continue to be your host for this evening. Thank you again first to Suffolk University Sawyer School of Business for hosting this conference for the second consecutive year. As you may have noticed arriving, this downtown location is the prime hub for exploring Boston's innovation ecosystem and also learning from industry leaders. The goal behind Startup Boston Week Conference is to connect the entire greater Boston and New England startup community across all departments, all industries, all bootstrapped and funding stages for 5 days of learning and connecting with one another. The team that creates Startup Boston Week is primarily volunteer, and all the folks here today running this conference are volunteering their time as well. So thank you for attending this event today. It's a labor of love, and we appreciate the role you all play in shaping our startup community. And a special thanks to Fetch for sponsoring this session. Startup Boston Week could not happen without the awesome partners we have like them. So thank you so much once again for being here, and I'll pass it on to the speakers.
Well, welcome everybody. I am thrilled to welcome to Fetch's first ever Defeat the Odds pitch competition. So we are thrilled to kick this off. I'm Michelle Morris, Chief People Officer at Fetch, and I have the honor of being your moderator in today's session. And I know it's going to be just a great pitch competition as we go through. So Fetch, America's Rewards app, had humble beginnings in a dorm room. Actually, our founder and CEO, Wes Schroll, was 18 when he seeded the idea of Fetch. And at competitions just like this all over the country, Wes raised and won over $185,000, which actually helped Fetch go from an idea to a complete reality. And today we have sweeping visibility into consumer transactions, 150 billion annually, using our machine learning, groundbreaking AI to really help know how customers transact. And we use the mantra of defeat the odds every single day at Fetch to remind us that statistically, we should not have been at the size, the success, the scope of our company. If you think about the stats we hear, only 20% of companies, they fail in the first 2 years, 45% at 5, and by 10 years, 65% of those businesses that started are no longer around. So defeating the odds is core to who we are, and it's really core to why we're excited about this competition today, to see the next generation of innovation, ideas, and give support that we know will help you defeat the odds. So we'll have the opportunity today. Yeah, that's a good one to clap for. Today, we'll have the opportunity to hear from 5 teams. They were picked from 30 applicants, and I will tell you, it was a really, really competitive ground. So kudos to these 5 teams. You'll hear from them. They'll each have 5 minutes to pitch their business. They'll have 5 minutes to answer questions from our judges, and then we'll move on to the next one. So speaking of judges, I am thrilled to introduce our esteemed panel of judges we're thrilled they're here today, and I'll just give you a little bit on their background too, so you know them. Alexa McGovern is the founder of Durago Sea Farm. That's a bioplastics materials company based in Maine. Most recently, she was a strategy and operations manager at Soulstice, a product experience management platform startup, and she moved up the ranks and roles from consumer-facing to product development. So welcome, Alexa. Glad to have you here today. Colin, yep. If some of you were in the session earlier, you heard from Colin. He is the founder and managing partner at Rafi Properties, a real estate investment, management, and assets firm with offices in Boston and Hong Kong. Colin has built a team and really a vision for his company that's true to his principles and values of innovation, authentic human interaction in communities. So thank you for being here, Colin. And we have Sonia Elaine. Sonia is originally from London, England. She currently serves as executive in residence and a member of the faculty in the Sawyer Business School Department of Public Service and Healthcare Administration. Her area of expertise is in the nonprofit arena, and she's president and CEO of Suffolk County Community Foundation. So really excited to have you with us today. And last but certainly not least, is Wes. Wes Schroll is a visionary and passionate leader. He's known for turning the impossible into reality. He loves speed, he values integrity, and he hails from Acton, Massachusetts. He headed off to the University of Wisconsin with 2 startups under his belt. And while there, actually had the idea for his 3rd startup, which we're all grateful he did, which is Fetch. So thank you, Wes, for being here, and really excited. So we are so thrilled to all of you for being here, to all of our founders. We're excited, and we're going to actually jump right into the competition with our very, very first pitch. So first up is Matthew Bruce, and Matthew is the founder of GreenBox. So come on up, Matthew.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Thank you all for coming. My name is Matt Bruce, and I am honored to introduce you to GreenBox. GreenBox is a subscription-based gardening delivery service designed to make gardening simple and accessible for everyone. And it looks like this is opened with Google Slides. I made it on PowerPoint, so there's a little overlap with some text, but that's okay, because I'll be speaking most of it anyway. So, first, I want to start off a little bit with my experiences in gardening and how I started out. During the COVID pandemic, I had a surplus of time and I had nothing to do. All of my activities shut down. I couldn't go out and hang out with my friends, but I still wanted to do something outside, and that's how I got into gardening. Now I have a garden in my front and backyard. I grow raspberries, cucumbers, a variety of flowers, poinsettias, marigolds, sunflowers. But I don't want gardening just to be accessible to those people with yards and plenty of space. I want gardening to be accessible to everyone, like my grandparents who just moved into an accessible living care facility, who don't have a lot of space. They have 2 rooms, but they have a little patio outside with enough room to go grow plants. Or like my brother, who's a freshman at Babson College. He just moved in 2 weeks ago, but in his dorm room, it's white, it's empty, it's blank, and he could use a couple plants to spruce it up. So that's what GreenBox does. We offer a curated selection of seeds and tools and information to our customers through a neat little box that we deliver to their house either every month or every season, depending on the option that they choose. And in addition to the physical product they receive, they gain access to our online community, where they have a forum where they can share tips and guidance and their experiences with gardening, as well as gaining advice from professionals and experts through some of our monthly events and webinars. Next, I wanted to go into some market data. Actually, first I'll describe our online community a little bit. When they first enter our website, they'll be met with an onboarding survey, which will ask them a couple of things, like their local environment, where they're from, what kind of plants they'll be interested in buying, because we have 4 different options. We have a flower box, we have an herb bundle, we have a fruits and vegetable bundle, and then we have a gardener's choice, which is a variety of products that we might have left over at our warehouse, or just what might be best for them in their location and their climate. So some market data. The gardening industry is currently the biggest it's ever been. In the last few years, gardening-related purchases and equipment have increased by 65% among millennials and 44% among Generation Z. You can see the U.S. gardening equipment per capita purchases are up to $34, or are going to be up to $34 in the near future, doubling what they were last year. I already went over the product mix a little bit. That's our regional customization. Our marketing strategy, we're going to be focused primarily on social media and SEO and Google ads, because we are an online retailer. We'll use targeted ads and influencer partnerships on Instagram. And then we have our referral program, where people will gain free months to our service by referring friends and family. And then we'll also have seasonal promotions with specific plants for seasons and holidays like Christmas or Mother's Day. The cost of the materials, it comes out to about around $10.50 a box between the seeds, the equipment, and the custom boxes, with the majority of that being $7 roughly per box for shipping. And this is the cost for the first box that someone would buy when in the first box, they need the equipment, they need a watering can, they need trowels, they need more equipment. Month by month, all of the equipment's not gonna be needed, so that price is gonna drop closer to $8 or $8.50, which justifies the pricing. We charge $6.99 per month for our seasonal model, or $17.99 for those customers that choose to be delivered to monthly, which is roughly a 90% markup. It allows us to pay for our employees and our materials and our space renting in our warehouse. We are able to take in about 40% profit for each of the boxes that we make, and then this is what GreenBox would do with $10,000. It's time. So I'm now excited to field any questions that you might have about the business.
Yeah, first lesson is always the tech. If it's something that can go wrong, it will go wrong. So well done handling the confusion on that one. So talk us through this one, which is what are you looking to do with the $10,000?
Yeah, so with the $10,000 to start up the business, $5,000 or $6,000 would go towards a warehouse and building up an inventory so that we would have stock to sell to customers. It would be realistically around $800 a month for the first warehouse that we would get. Obviously, once we grow, we'd love to have the problem where we're full at that location and we have to expand. And eventually down the line, in the second or third year, we'd like to start making our own boxes so that we can produce them for cheaper. And I think that'll come when we have around 2,000 or 3,000 subscribers.
Excellent presentation, thank you. So my question is about you as a leader.
Yeah.
How has this changed you? What have you learned out of this process, this experience?
So, I mean, through starting a business, I mean, it's not operational at the moment. It's still in the ideological phase, but I've learned about gardening and the entrepreneurial process a little more. I've already started a business with my dad. I own a 2-court pickleball facility, so it's not my first time in the entrepreneurial world. And I've also reached out to a variety of gardeners and gardening influencers on Instagram, so I'm going into some of the back end of gardening. I'm learning more about it just from interacting with these people. I feel like every second that I spend talking with these people on Instagram or on LinkedIn, I'm learning more, and I'm like, oh, I've never done that before. I've never thought to bury my seeds that deep, but so I'm learning more about that. I'm learning about starting a business, and I'm excited to learn more as I scale.
Big gardener here, so love this idea. I would imagine that as you're scaling and if you were able to get this money, building a team would be important.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Who are you thinking about bringing on first to kind of round out your skill sets?
So I think it would be great to have a couple employees handling the shipping and delivery process, where we'd have to schedule some monthly shipments with either FedEx or UPS to come to our warehouse, pick up our products, and then deliver them. Because we're an online retailer, we're aiming to pilot it nationally, not just at the local level. So having a couple people managing the shipping and the logistics, and then also having a couple of people, once we reach around 50 orders a month, that's probably the threshold at which I can't handle and pack all the deliveries myself. So I'd need a couple, literally just hands. It could be my friends, other high schoolers, college students, my brother, just to pack some boxes and put the seed packets and the information and all of that in the box. But I think within the first year, I wouldn't look to scale past 7 or 8 employees.
So this is one of the questions I ask to a lot of entrepreneurs. Imagine you have a competitor that has unlimited money. How are you going to maintain your competitive edge? Say you are the first mover into this market. How can you make sure that you're going to keep winning while they're just copying what you're doing?
So first of all, about the competition, there are other online plant retailers, but there's no one from all of my knowledge and research that is doing a monthly subscription for gardening. So we're kind of the first to enter that space in gardening. I mean, obviously they're the ones that deliver food like HelloFresh or Blue Crate or whatever. But as far as retention of our members, so they're not stolen away, we have pretty unique marketing. We have, it's a GreenBox. Colin, how many packages come to your house every month? Roughly.
That's a question for my wife, but it's a lot.
Okay, and how many packages? How many of those packages are green?
None.
Right. So our green box. I mean, big surprise. It's a bright green cubic box, and everything inside will be labeled, and everything's branded. It's custom. It's unique to them. And then on the website, which it doesn't come at any additional charge, they have this whole community of other gardeners that they can talk to, and there's not another.
Maybe
place to
the
get
follow up on that is,
that. Yeah.
as we've seen other subscription-based business models fail because competition kind of eat up all your market share. What about like in sponsorships, like maybe with Home Depot or joint marketing efforts? If you have those type of relationships to kind of secure your first mover advantage a little bit more.
Yeah, I've reached out to True Leaf Market. They're a massive dirt or soil and plant wholesaler, and I haven't confirmed any partnerships or anything with them, but that would allow us to move a little quicker and reduce the cost a little bit if we're buying in such bulk. So we haven't looked into selling at the locations like Home Depot or Lowe's, but it's certainly a viable opportunity, I suppose.
How are you thinking about getting the first customers?
How would I think about getting the first customers?
Yep.
If you look at a subscription service like Dollar Shave Club, are you familiar with them? They spent about 80% of their marketing in their first few years and didn't make any money for the first few years just because they were spending so much on Google Word, Google SEO and Word marketing. So like when you search up anything about shaving or cosmetics, they would always be in the first 4 or 5. So I'm willing to not turn a profit in the first couple of years so that I can just focus on growing and spend a good amount of money. Any money that we would make would just be invested right back into Google SEO and marketing on social media.
Thank you. Round of applause.
Okay. Thank you again.
Great job. I've been wanting to start a garden forever, so now I know where to go. And I loved your bury those seeds very deep. I think you already have a tagline for the company, so awesome job. So while our judges are kind of comparing notes, they've got a few minutes to compare notes, we'd love to bring up our next founders up from TelePark. So please join me in welcoming. Thank you. Vani, I'll just introduce you up from here. Vani Mittal, Vani Mittal, Sarada Koppana, and Deepika Bhardwaj. So awesome. Well, as soon as we get the clear from the judges, we'll give you a thumbs up. Yep.
Do you want to stand at the button?
Great. Great. And special thanks to Matt for going first. That's breaking us all in. It's great. Yeah.
use that one. And you just, yeah.
And I'll just go in the center.
Yeah. Are you ready?
Yeah, we're ready. We've done this a million times, we're fine.
All right. Hands out to you.
Okay.
Wait, I don't think yet.
Okay. Introducing TelePark, your ultimate parking companion, transforming the dreaded hunt for street parking into a breeze.
Hi, I'm Vani Mittal, the CEO of TelePark. Hi, I'm Deepika Bhardwaj, the CTO of TelePark.
And I'm Sarada Koppana, the COO of TelePark. So, we've all been there, right? You're driving into Boston for a shopping spree or a cozy family dinner, only to end up circling the block endlessly in search of your street parking. Well, you're not the only one. Meet Asha. Asha was going out to dinner with her friends at the Barcelona Wine Bar, a restaurant that has a parking garage more than a 5-minute walk away, making the cheaper and more flexible option for her, street parking. And through our market research, we found that thousands more drivers face the same struggles of finding street parking, spending an average of more than 15 minutes getting to their street parking. So we said, enough is enough.
Enter TelePark. Our app optimizes every aspect of the user journey. After creating a TelePark account, simply input your destination into our app and we will find the closest vacant parking meter to your desired destination. Thanks to our connection with the Boston Transportation Department, we currently have access to the city's parking meter inventory and we plan to obtain their live transactional data soon. This data will tell us when and where a user has paid for a street parking spot and under which meter, enabling us to direct users with our Google Maps API. And if that spot gets taken, don't worry, because we have 4 backup meters lined up for you. But that's not all. We offer flexible payment options. Leaving early, you can just simply input this into our app, and you can help other drivers find that spot through our TelePark point system, and you can extend your duration on the go. And now for the tech talk. The high-level technology behind your app is what makes us unique and powerful. We utilize an algorithm that takes input from live city data to guide you to the best spots. It's fast, it's smart, but not only that, we've received endorsement from Nick Davis, Vice President of Data Science at Iodine Software.
We have conducted field testing in Boston. Using a beta version of our app, we manually directed users to the closest vacant parking meter to their destination. And in total, we prototyped on 43 Ashas, who all said that with TelePark, their experience was much faster. Each of these people were also able to save an average of 8 out of 15 minutes with TelePark. That's like saving 8 circles around the entire block. And through other surveys and interviews, we were able to obtain 160 plus waitlisted users. We are extremely confident to obtain Boston's live meter transactional data because the Transportation Department has already provided us with their entire meter inventory and a few days worth of their live meter transactional data. So clearly the city finds value in us. Additionally, our solution aims to address the 30% of traffic congestion seen in Boston due to inefficient street parking strategies, as well as reducing carbon emissions because we minimize driving time.
Now, how do we get our product to the people themselves? Well, we've selected a couple of Boston neighborhoods where our market research shows that our product could be the most successful. And in these areas, such as Newbury and Back Bay, we'll implement a starting marketing phase focused on SEO, using our Instagram and Facebook accounts to reach our users virally, and giving a first-hour free discount to our users in the pilot year. As we scale up, expect to see TelePark signage on all the meters in Boston. And we also want to partner with local Boston restaurants to give our users great dining spot recommendations based on where they park, helping us grow our customer base and building strong business partnerships. And we've already gotten 3 Boston restaurant LOIs that are willing to partner with TelePark. And finally, our 5-year end goal is to get our product all throughout metropolitan cities in the New England area.
Our business model is split into 2 main streams of revenue. Firstly, we charge $3 per hour of parking, and after deducting the $2 that goes to the city as a required commission, TelePark obtains $1 in profit per hour. Secondly, in year 3, we will implement in-app ads, gaining 44 cents every time an ad is displayed to the user. We plan to keep our costs of marketing, software development, and other overhead below our revenue. In year 1, our costs do outweigh our profit as we hit the ground running, but by year 2, we will break even thanks to increased marketing successes. And finally, by year 5, we will have made over $540,000 in profit.
Our competitors either only focus on garage parking like Spot Hero or payment solutions like Park Boston, making us the only app that taps into this untouched market. From this, we can ensure that you can do all things parking in one app.
Now, with TelePark, Asha will never again have to say she's late for dinner because she couldn't find her street parking. So invest in TelePark and save every minute that matters. Thank you for your time.
First of all, great presentation. So you said that this data is being made available from the city. Why have they not made it available, in your estimation, to the spot heroes or the pay to park apps that are currently out there? And if this model is proving to be very successful, is that going to be something you're worried about them potentially adding as an added-on feature?
So our competitors right now, like Spot Hero, like Deepika mentioned, and Park Boston, they focus on garage parking. So they use a different source of data, not from the city. Or Spot Angels and Spot Hero, they actually have a more unreliable source. They take pictures. They have people who take pictures and input that data into their app to provide their users on optimal garages. So our app, we use reliable data from the Boston Transportation Department that we know is live and can give our users the best optimized spots. And we know from precedents from other apps that are using these data in similar ways, but not in the unique way that we're doing it, that is reliable, and we can always give our users the best spots.
I also have a question about the data. Have you looked into how this changes city by city? Like, are other cities like Chicago making this data readily available?
Yeah, so we've started our market research. We had meetings with other cities as well, like Newbury and Cambridge, and they have similar setups for data, but obviously it's different as you change areas. But they see the value in our product, and they see that we're trying to change something all around the country, all around the New England area. So they're willing to work with us, and we've started communications with them. So we're willing to adapt and work with other people.
I have a practical question. So if someone is parking in the meter spot and is not paying, what happens to the...
Do that.
Who does that, right? It's Boston. So what happens to the app? And so when you pull up to a spot and there's a car there?
Yeah, so illegal parking will always exist. However, I did look into statistics, and overall, as the years went on, illegal parking has declined, though it will always be a thing. However, we can ensure that, at the very least, for all the transactions that have been made, that if a spot gets taken, if someone pays for it, we will be able to tell if that spot's been taken. But we cannot factor in these sort of measures, but overall it should not affect people's parking experiences most of the time, especially considering that there could be more than one spot available on a specific block, so it wouldn't really be an inconvenience for people.
Is that the part that you said that it looks for up to 4 spots? Is that for that reason?
Yeah, so we ensure guaranteed parking. So assuming that they were directed to this location and that spot got taken, then our algorithm will reroute them to the next best spot for them. So they would not have to waste time circling the block and not even knowing if there is a spot, or where to look.
In terms of the revenue, how do you account for those locations that they charge more to park, and then there's others that they don't charge as much? I know there's a variation now in the amount.
Yeah, thank you. So we have implemented dynamic pricing. So based on the location, our $3 per hour is our average, but based on where users park and the time that they park, based on whether it's busier in the area or it's more slower, we'll offer dynamic pricing. So our pricing will change based on the surrounding environment and the competition as well.
And then I'm guessing the data also includes the hours that the parking is even paid for parking. And if it's outside of that, my guess is you don't know what spots are open because there's not a payment being received. Like some of these spots around the commons are Sundays, no payment or no cost. So would that be, hey, open parking type of thing?
Yeah.
I want to go into your numbers a little bit, like the amount of money that you're making per trip, like how are you projecting the actual revenue and profit? Because it seems like it's a lot, for in 5 years. And you'd be charging $1 a trip or something per. Can you go into that model, the revenue model a little bit?
Yeah, of course. So in our first year, after obtaining the city's data, and when they gave us a few days worth of their live meter transactional data, we were able to take these days and average out how many people go into Boston and Street Park per day on average. So once we obtained this number, which was about 12,200 people per day, go to Boston and Street Park, we were able to determine, based on the market and our competitors, what share and predict what share we would want of this market. And because we charge $3 per hour of parking, TelePark retains $1 of that, so that accounts into our revenue. And then every time a user makes a transaction and is on our app, they will see an ad that will also give us an additional 44 cents. So all of that together would give us our revenue for each year.
Great job. I know all of us have parking woes regardless of the city, so excellent to see. So we will, let's see, have Eli. Eli, come on up. Eli Hession, the founder of Soulstice Shades. I'm going to be giving you little signals down here.
Okay, perfect.
Perfect.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming out. Thank you to Fetch for this event. I appreciate it. Wes, I actually had the privilege of hearing you speak a few years ago at a Bentley conference for DECA, and his story really inspired me. Dorm room starting. I'm starting out of my bedroom, packaging orders. And I will say that was the most interesting thing I learned that week. The next day I had geometry class. So a little bit about me. I got my start through Marshfield DECA, the town that I live in. I was able to go to the international event, and I'd say that DECA really launched my entrepreneurial spirit. It really fueled the fire for me, and I've kind of always had a passion for creative ventures, but kind of bringing that entrepreneurial side to it is all thanks to DECA, so I give all my credibility to them. So to start, Soulstice was founded this year in 2024. I launched in June. And when we first started, we wanted to focus on community, building a brand that represented a town, represented surf culture, and kind of also combining that with sustainability. The demand for eco-friendly products are only increasing as people are becoming more aware to environmental causes. And I guess my objective with this brand is to create a collection of frames, create a lifestyle brand out of it, while also focusing on saving local beaches and kind of putting our foot forward with environmental causes. So the problem, every business is trying to solve a problem, and sometimes the problems are already trying to be solved. In my case, there are environmentalists working with all of the climate issues that we have, and there's also businesses that utilize the eco-friendliness into their company. So I thought that I could just do my part with it. So in 2020, there was 220 million tons of plastic in the Atlantic Ocean, and that was 4 years ago. So as you can imagine, it's gotten worse. And since then, brands such as Ray-Ban have tried to put their foot forward with sustainability, but they're not doing a great job at it. It's more of a buzzword for them more than it is a passion. So for us, it's more of a drive towards marine conservation. We all see those pictures of sea turtles. You know, it's something that appeals to emotion, and that's kind of where I wanted to go with this. And, you know, I see on my beach trash, I see pollution in the water. This is what fueled it, and that's the problem that I'm trying to solve here, is that I didn't want a simple mistake like leaving your sunglasses on the beach to make an environmental impact. So the solution would be investing in eco-friendly sunglasses that are actually non-toxic and not just kind of going towards these huge corporations that are just using it as a buzzword. So we use bioacetate in our sunglasses, which is made from wood pulp and cotton. And I guess the only consumer adjustment with buying Soulstice Shades is that the price. I mean, they feel just like regular plastic. It's just you're investing in that eco-friendliness. So it kind of goes with your values. So for market research,
You can see that consumers now, especially our target market, which is Gen Z and millennials, is focusing more on thicker frames. We're kind of ditching that aviator look. Not all of us look like Tom Cruise, unfortunately. So we're kind of going towards more thicker frames. If you look up sunglasses now, you're going to see a ton of thick frames, square frames as well. And also Gen Z has also been putting their focus on environmentally friendly causes and investing in brands that are having those values and staying true to them. So that kind of also fits our target market as well. So here's our products. They're named after each element or spots in my local area that I had fun growing up with. I remember going to the dunes with my friends and having fun there. So it kind of just goes back to that community and building a brand that is focused on the community and where it's actually started from, which is cleaning up the beaches of Marshfield. And each lens is a UV 400 lens, so it blocks 100% of the UV rays that can damage our eyes. So for marketing, there's really 3 pillars. E-commerce optimization, so our store is digital. We don't have a physical location, so investing in our website is crucial to a brand that's operating only on a .com. And also adding virtual try-on features can really elevate your brand. And social media marketing, huge right now, especially for brands that are targeting Gen Z. So utilizing influencers and also just going to local events, doing pop-ups. I actually have one this Saturday at Lobster Fest in Marshfield. And for financial planning, this is kind of just a rough outline of what the funds will be used for. Most of it I want to put into new products, creating better products, and creating better marketing. So we're going to be using the profits from the previous summer and kind of combining it with the fetch money. So thank you, everyone. I appreciate it. And I'll turn it over to the judges. And I'll give you guys a chance to kind of...
To keep them? Amazing. Thank you. No. Yeah, and the shirt. How do I get a shirt? That's my first question. I'm going to steal Colin's question, but tell us a little bit about the financials. At the end, you mentioned use the profit from last year, so tell us a little bit about that. Because that's impressive. And then second, the unit economics of how much does it cost to create one of these versus obviously the price point that you're looking at selling it for.
Got you. So this summer is when I launched. So just reusing the money that we've put into it already is kind of what I was getting at, and using the fetch money to make it even better. So it cost me around $18 for the actual sunglasses, and at the end of the day, with shipping and packaging, it's around $25. So we make $40 off each pair, and I would say that most of the money we want to fund new products and better products. I think that there's so much we can do with this. I think that there's so much improvement that I've seen that we could definitely move towards.
Can you talk a little bit about your manufacturing process? What part of it you're owning, how much of it you're outsourcing? And then can you also let me know if there's an ability to patent any of this with the bioacetate formulation?
Yep. So our manufacturing is out of China. So we partnered kind of with a company called Yishan Technology. They're our manufacturer. And they've been great so far, but a weakness with them is how long it takes for it to get to my doorstep. So kind of looking at new manufacturers is something that I would be open to doing as well. As for the patent, bioacetate is a material that's not just used in sunglasses. It's used in many other things. But we would be able to patent our own mold. So if given the funds, we would actually be able to create our own custom Soulstice mold instead of using kind of a white labeled outline of a product.
If you can share the feedback you've received from those that you've sold, and are there any opportunities for prescription sunglasses?
Yeah, so far for the feedback, what I've learned is that sometimes the sunglasses aren't super universal. They don't fit a ton of people's faces, which was a huge issue, and that's what I'm looking towards actually changing, is making kind of universal frames that are going to fit everyone. I think they're kind of wide. So I've heard that in feedback, and I've heard positive feedback, but that's kind of the one that I look at the negative so I can improve. And sorry, what was the end of that question was? Oh, prescription. Okay, so yeah, I am looking at partnering with a company that would be able to do that. Right now, that's kind of difficult because like I don't have a warehouse, so it's running out of my my bedroom. So like I'd ship it to the. So it's kind of like it would have to be a manufacturing to that company. So it would have to be through them that we get it. But I definitely am looking at manufacturers that would be able to do that either themselves or partnering with a company that we have give them the connection to.
So you mentioned that they're coming from China, which is
Yep.
where the partner is. So do you have any concern with the eco stance that the journey, obviously, and the carbon emissions from that journey is
Yeah,
going to be
that's
something?
I think about that a lot actually. So that's why I'm not a huge fan of using China in the going forward. It was mostly a capital thing. Like I didn't have the money to be able to do Italy, and if we could get it to America to minimize like shipping and all that, then that would be obviously super ideal, and that's hopefully where the brand goes, is to minimize the carbon emissions completely, or else we're just a hypocrite. But yeah, so that's technically what I'm working towards right now is just connecting with different manufacturers, seeing which one works well with me, and fits my values as an entrepreneur and with my brand.
When you keep talking about product development, would you ever go outside of sunglasses with your lifestyle brand? And do you have ideas?
Yeah, so that's actually a great question because I'm wearing the T-shirt that we just dropped this past month. So what the future of this brand looks like for me is definitely creating a lifestyle brand, creating more products than just sunglasses, kind of like how Vans does it, where they're known for the shoes, but you can buy a Vans hat. So being able to kind of explore different clothing aspects or different products in general, maybe for some surf equipment, you never know. That's definitely something I'm looking towards, and the T-shirt was just a step in that direction. So,
Final, just like practical question. So right now, when they get delivered to your warehouse, which is your room,
yeah,
do you put them together from there and then
No.
box them up, or?
That's a good question. So they're packaged they're packaged for me, and then I package them in my own custom case and box that I've had made. So like to ship them, and then I drive to the post office. So
And
I
you source that from someone else?
Yes,
right?
yes.
Okay. I think that was our time. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. I appreciate it.
All right, and the glasses, I would highly recommend everyone try them on. They're right here on the table, absolutely incredible. So while the judges are telling over there, we'd love to welcome up our founders from SafeSip. So come on up. We have Susanna Bai, Nasiba Alikulova, emphasis on the cool I hear, and Emily Zhang. Really excited to hear from these founders.
I'll set it up for you. No, don't worry about it. Yeah, there you go.
We stand before you today as 3 young women about to enter our first years of college. It seems like now more than ever, we're reminded to make the most of our youth and seize the day, because these times approaching us, particularly of fun nights out in college, are sure to pass by quickly. But yet, we're hit with the harsh reality that just as quickly, something meant to be as simple as a fun night out in college can derail a person's life forever, leaving them with no control over their body, having no memory, and susceptible to human trafficking and sexual assault. The source of the problem? Drink tampering, which can leave individuals with symptoms of severe intoxication in as little as 15 minutes.
As we explored these experiences across college campuses with students, we've come to the realization that this is not an isolated incident. According to NPR, in fact, 1 in 13 college students have had their drink tampered with before, not even counting the countless cases that go unreported due to the social stigma surrounding these testing products. With these drugs also being odorless, colorless, as well as tasteless, it is now harder than ever for partygoers to keep their drinks safe. And so as upcoming college freshmen, we, Emily Zhang,
Susanna Bia,
And Nasiba Alikulova
decided that we needed to take a stand against this issue. And so from our research on these technological methods of detecting these drugs, we've come to the conclusion that the best method is simply at our fingertips, something so ordinary and discreet. Simply
a straw. SafeSip works as the most accessible and accurate drink tampering test on the market. Although
On the surface, it seems like any other straw, but within it are detectors for the most common date rape drugs, GHB, ketamine, and Rohypnol. Using new advancements in fluorescent dyes, GHB, and tribipyridine ruthenium-2 chloride, we have developed a product that undergoes a brightness change upon contact with the drug. And how can we establish a market need for this product? These statistics show that we provide businesses with a competitive advantage by having our product. And take this Facebook group, dedicated for victims sharing the trauma of drink tampering all over Boston. This is 14,000 real people who have had their entire lives derailed by one drink.
So based off of that, we contacted prominent bars, restaurants, and college campuses in the Boston area to not only verify the support for our product, but the demand and need for SafeSip on the market. Furthermore, with over 67,000 bars and nightclubs in the US alone, our market size starts out with an estimated $37 billion, which we plan on segmenting to focus on female patrons and younger adults in their 20s and 30s.
We already have quite a limited competition. However, none of them match up to SafeSip. Primarily, we have Nightcap, a bulky drink cover that draws unwanted attention. Furthermore, it's only a preventative measure. It doesn't actually tell you if your drink has been spiked. Furthermore, we also have these drug testing kits, which have many variations, but have been shown by studies to be completely inaccurate, only being glorified pH tests. It only takes one misstep, and you could have your entire life changed because of this issue.
So with these flaws in mind, as well as our consumer safety, we've decided on using key features such as using BPA-free plastic for the base of the straw and putting these reagents inside a selectively permeable membrane inside these sealed compartments you see in the red and orange to help the drink flow freely in and out to detect the drugs whenever they occur, as well as protect the user from these chemicals. When it comes to marketing, we plan on advertising both our product and our message. We plan on collaborating with bars, nightclubs, as well as restaurants and large event venues, especially in college areas. The time to act is now, as some states, like California last July, are making it mandatory for these establishments to have testing products on hand for their consumers.
And here is just a rough breakdown of what it would cost for us to make 1 unit of SafeSip. And as we expand, this cost will only go down. And here is an example of a possible partnership we can make. This is the St. Clair, which is a music venue in Cambridge, which has had multiple incidents of drug spiking in recent years and even lost their liquor license. SafeSip can work with the St. Clair to repair their broken, priceless reputation with their customers. Say we sell 12,000 units at a 30% markup. Then we'll get over 7,000 in revenue and over 2,000 in profit.
So if we were to win the $10,000, most of our money would be allocated towards research and development of our SafeSip prototypes, with some fees going towards patents for this idea, and the remainder of the money going towards creating these business connections, as well as sharing our mission with our consumers.
Now let's all raise our glasses and toast to enjoying a night out with the SafeSip. Thank you.
Super creative approach to an unfortunate problem that obviously exists and is very real. And I love that you guys also are putting the consumer perspective in the forefront of your mind, which is like, you can't have something that makes you stand out from everyone else there. So that makes a lot of sense. But the key then is that this straw works. Have you guys done some of the testing to understand everything from like drinkability through the straw, you said semi-permeable membrane to help with that, through to does it change the taste because there's some chemicals looking for reactions in there? Yeah, what are your thoughts in, like, as you go into R&D, some of those key points to make sure that the straw doesn't change the experience of the drink?
So because of we've looked into the cost of these specific fluorescent dyes that we find would be the most effective for our current model, and we're unable to, for financial reasons, acquire them and do those testings, which is why it would be very crucial and our #1 priority. However, in terms of it affecting the taste of the drink, as we mentioned, because of the membrane that we're deciding to use, we researched the type of plastic that we plan on using that would allow us to do so. There's no contact between your actual drink and the chemicals which remain inside the straw, so there's no danger, or you're not ingesting any substances besides your drink.
So restaurants would be and bars would be purchasing this product. It wouldn't be the consumers themselves, right?
Right. So initially, we plan on marketing towards those bars and restaurants to really spread our straw across all the consumers that they've already built up. However, we plan on looking forward to launching SafeSip in drugstores or stores for those people who want to have their own ready-to-go straw and maybe are less ready to trust businesses' safety products.
Okay, and then one follow-on question to that. So say I'm just a well-intending restaurant that hasn't yet had this problem, but I do want to work with you guys, how are you thinking about partnering with these restaurants proactively so they don't sabotage their own brand? Do you get what I'm saying? Like if they have these straws on hand, could it infer that this is happening in their location?
Right, but based on our research, it's actually something that a lot of state governments are setting aside and allocating money to really encourage these restaurants to take that first step, regardless of their standing reputation. So it's more so showing their dedication to safety rather than trying to patch up some already existing issues they've had.
I was just curious, are you planning on doing a variation of straws? So like the cocktail, the smaller ones, and then the bigger ones that will go for soda?
Yeah, we're planning to work on developing different types so that we want to draw as little attention as possible to our drinks. So by developing those types of straws, we can make it,
Right.
we can decrease the social stigma even more.
And then my other question is, I think it would be good or maybe something for you to consider around like training. So if a young lady does have a reaction, then what? What do they do in the restaurant?
Yeah, that's
What's
what
the
we-
process?
So that's what we plan on focusing on in our social media outreach, because obviously not all businesses want to be will be the target audience of these social media like Instagram, etc. So the Instagram kind of TikTok is going to be marketing towards the users of this product.
I have a question on the product. It sounds like you don't have a prototype yet, right? Okay. I was just wondering how it would, have you gotten boba stuck in your straw and you're like, I can't drink it, so just wondering if you've ever even tried something like that, like you mentioned a membrane, like have you tried a membrane with none of the chemicals, but because you can't afford to buy the chemicals, just to see how does that feel like? What's the experience? And then also the idea of the chemical process, have you vetted it through with a scientist that makes sure hey, that sounds like it works. It would work.
So we have contacted some chemists, but we're still looking to continue the conversation from there. Yeah.
And as for your question about the membrane affecting it, that's more so about the outer layer that builds up the straw rather than the size of the hole itself, so it shouldn't be an issue in theory. But yeah, like Emily said, we do already have connections to different chemists even around the Cambridge area, so definitely looking for closer connections to really expedite the process of building these prototypes.
The membrane is only with the chemicals, so what you're drinking out of is just regular plastic.
Do you think this is something that, because it does have chemicals and it's touching food and drink, that you might need FDA approval?
Yeah, that's why for our plans for the money, we were thinking about allocating about $1,000 to just focus on the legal stuff and what compliances we need to follow.
And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, SafeSip. Super exciting to see the ideas, the advancements, plans for a prototype. And with that, I would love to welcome up the founder of Budget app. Come on up. We've got Gabby Lopes.
This morning, I woke up and discovered that I was a millionaire. And about 10 minutes before I came up here to pitch to you guys, a robot scammed me out of all my money. Although these ideas seem unrealistic in real life, they're all quite possible in a world that is just a touch away. My name is Gabby Lopes. I'm an eager student at Babson College, and I introduce to you the Budget app. So let's start with the problem. Currently, Massachusetts is one of 27 states that does not ensure financial education. And of the 306 school districts within the state, Only 16 require students to pass personal finance before receiving their diploma. The scarcity of financial education has real and lasting impacts, so I decided to take matters into my own hands. Last September, I conducted a preliminary quiz among 100 middle school students within the Plymouth County. Here, I had assessed their basic financial literacy skills, but the average score was a shocking 56%. It's evident that financial literacy is a daunting subject to a younger generation, and sometimes we're all in need of a bud. For the first time ever, your friend and financial advisor are accessible from your phone screen. I introduce to you the Budget app. Budget is a mobile game that is tailored towards middle school students with the purpose of teaching them essential financial literacy skills through gameplay. So for a quick demo of the app, you open up the app in the make-believe city of Castropolis. Castropolis is your main domain, which uses touchscreen navigation to move around your avatar, Bud. The Bank tab offers a series of mini quizzes, which challenges students' understanding on important financial concepts. Moving on to the Videos tab, this is a multitude of short educational videos sourced by industry professionals who explain simple yet imperative financial concepts. The Shop tab allows students to save and spend with our fictional currency, Bud Coin. Here they can purchase accessories in the shop or game-enhancing tools. And last, but certainly not least, the Bud Lab allows students to actually customize their very own budget avatar. Some honorable mentions of our best designs include our Travel Bud, Bucket Hat Bud, and then my personal favorite, the classic pink budget. Now, we officially launched our app to the Apple Store on January 8th, 2024. And since I've visited local middle schools to host immersive budget workshops, stakeholders were really excited by this idea, that we can single-handedly challenge traditional learning styles and learn a thing or two about finance along the way. As a result, we raised $1,400 on sponsorship packages and donations, and we invested this directly into the future of budget. I invested exactly $1,000.41 into the manufacturing of the merchandise you see here. Not only were these sold for an 18% net profit margin, but the extra t-shirts were given out to students as an incentive during the workshop. I've learned that although students are not initially interested in financial literacy, every kid will compete to win a free t-shirt. Our second approach to earning revenue has been by collaborating with local enterprises to create in-app promotions. In December of 2023, Northeastern Savings Bank reached out to us expressing interest in the app. We quickly met up with two other representatives, and we came up with the creative solution of making an interactive character. This character is hyperlinked with the bank's website and secured us $1,000 in sponsorship funding. But we aren't stopping there. Budget has the opportunity to network with a plethora of local businesses. So imagine taking your bud to shop at a local boutique or learning about finances from your local bank. We have the rare chance to foster a sense of community amongst our younger generation, all the while tackling the gaps within our educational systems. Additionally, I hope to onboard a new app developer. As a college student in the Boston metro area, I've entered a diverse network of students who are looking for that real industry experience. And once our user experience is refurbished, I plan to visit more middle schools at a larger geographic scale. That way, students are getting hands-on experience with the Budget app, but we're also one step closer to being implemented within public school curriculum. Now, since the publication of our app this year, we received over 300 app downloads and a variety of five-star reviews. And if you aren't quite inspired yet, here's the evaluation upon students' improvement on financial literacy. As I mentioned, last fall, students scored an average of 56%. But since using the Budget app, this has increased on a 20 to 30% margin. Now, I began this pitch with an unrealistic scenario, but financial literacy within our communities does not have to be. With the Budget app, we're inspiring a new generation of buyers, investors, and citizens. Because after all, we are the future of finance. Thank you, and I look forward to any questions you guys may have.
Out of curiosity, where did how did you stumble onto this being a problem, and where does your passion for this come from?
Yes, so this actually started as a DECA project in which we were competing in the financial literacy category, but my partner and I specifically chose financial literacy because we were in our senior year of high school and we were in the midst of applying to colleges, and student loan debt has been an increasing issue over the years. I think we talk a lot about how financial literacy is a logical problem, but not really an emotional one that can impact the lives and the repercussions of people's lives. So this is something I've become very passionate about.
Are there any regulations when it comes to kids or adolescents and finance apps like this?
Yes. So something that we've intentionally avoided is making in-app purchases or making the app cost money because our target market is such a young demographic. The point is to make it more accessible to students rather than constrain that target market. So that's something we intentionally avoid to just stay out of it.
I know you had mentioned partnering with a bank or engaging in conversation. So one of the things, as a former bank executive, you should research is around the CRA and making sure that you have these conversations with financial institutions because they're all regulated on this and judged on this. So you should make sure that you engage in conversations around the financial literacy with them.
Thank you.
Very important.
So what is your thought for the business model? Obviously, you talked a lot about partnerships and everything. So how does that scale in your mind?
So partnerships are kind of just a way of us sourcing revenue with in-app promotion. However, as I mentioned, I hope to onboard more members. Since I graduated high school this June, I become the sole member, and I'm kind of looking for co-founders to have expertise within the coding area of the app, as well as project management and a sales manager. So I'm kind of hoping to also apply for the Massachusetts LLC in the far future. It's a lengthy process. Currently, there's a $500 formation fee, and it's an additional $500 per year. So I think having that level of professionality would really boost us to that next level.
I think it's a problem that people want to solve, is particularly among young people. They want to learn about finance, they want to learn about budgeting and all that. So this game needs to be very attractive and fun. So you have to keep creating content, right? And also, how do you do that and make sure you have a profitable business so you can keep going and creating new content, new quizzes or whatever. And then at the same time, how do you compete with like free TikTok videos that are telling you, hey, this is what you can do, and then you can make money this and that, and YouTube videos, because there's a lot of free content out there already.
To address your first question, some active steps that we took during our budget workshops is we give students a little quick form at the end of it, and we receive firsthand feedback. So something that we got is, we want it to be competitive, we want a leaderboard. And I was shocked that like these 10-year-old kids are really wanting to compete against each other. But that's something that I added to kind of make it, you're consistently adding content to the app, but you're also competing against someone. So there's always this like competitive edge towards the game. And to address your second question about, what was the second question?
Competition against like other free platforms.
Like TikTok.
Yeah. Content.
So something that is specific about the budget app is that it has this aspect of locality to it. So as I mentioned, for students in the South Shore area who see a local boutique, who see a local bank, something they're able to identify, I believe that makes them resonate not only with the app, but with the information they're being taught much more. And it's not just constrained to the South Shore of Massachusetts. We can make a feature within the app in which students input their location where they are, and that way it automatically sets to whatever community they're a part of. So I think that's something that completely sets us apart from any other market.
You seem very well versed in the curriculum that you're creating here, but are there any other partners that you would work with to develop additional curriculum, whether that's finance executives, or I know you had those videos as well, but who helps you build that curriculum out?
So currently, we've met with some local industry professionals before doing this app. I mean, I'm not saying I'm a complete expert on finance, that's why I'm going to school to study it. So it's really important that we're consistently educating ourselves too. So having these meetings with people who work at local bank or national level corporations like Salesforce we reached out to. So to have like a consistent source of information, not only to input in the app, but to educate ourselves as well has been integral. Is that all? Thank you so much for your time.
Great, our judges are going to be tallying, and while they're tallying, let's just give a huge round of applause to all of our founders. Yes. It's incredible, from GreenBox to TelePark to Soulstice Shades, SafeSip. It's just so incredible in Budget App to see all of the hard work And by the numbers, if you could just, 32 entries, we had 50 student entrepreneurs, 16 semifinalists, all to get to these 5 finalists. That's 245 scorecards, 137 points of feedback that these entrepreneurs soaked and acted on, 36 volunteers with 60 volunteer hours, 5 mentors, 2 pitch coaches, and $17,500 in prize money, and 1 winner. Great. And I'd love to give out some thank yous to everyone, just on behalf of Fetch, for everyone that made this event possible. So, of course, to our finalists, I know we're going to see all of you on the front page of the headlines, and so impressed with the businesses that you're founding, and I suspect they won't be the only ones that you found and invent, so keep it up. And we also want to thank our friends here at Suffolk University for the incredible partnership, to Massachusetts DECA, Build Junior Achievement, and the Boston Tie organization that actually encouraged all of our talented students to apply. So big thanks and round of applause to them. And we also had many Fetch mentors and support teams that I have to tell you, we all had to remain neutral. I was moderating, not judging, thank goodness, but you had major fans in the halls of Fetch that were all raving about your different products. So kudos to all of you for the work that you've done along the way. And of course, to the families and everyone that's here supporting these founders, we thank all of you as well. So with that, we'll be back in just a couple minutes. We have a third place, second place, and then our grand finale. So we'll be back as soon as our judges come back.
Hello, attention everyone. I'm just gonna plug in a couple points. One, we have a career fair that just kicked off downstairs on the first floor. So if some of you are here looking for that, head on downstairs. It started at 6, so yeah, it's been 15 minutes since that was done. And 2, if you have been here sometime today in the last few days, then there's a high chance that Kevin Tai from 3 Circle Studio, our photography partner, has photographed you. And we have some cool AI facial recognition that can tag you in all the photos. So there is a barcode over here. So if you want to download just those photos in which you were tagged in, feel free to come scan that up. Thank you.
Now time for the fun part, or the suspenseful part. One more time, a round of applause for everyone. This was... My teams that had a chance to hear your guys' pitch ahead of time told me that we were in for a very, very hard decision. They were not lying. We were really struggling, and you're gonna see that all 5 of you had incredible pitches with businesses that we all think can actually go to the next level. Now, given the scoring system that we used and the fact that it's my competition, we did have a tie, and so we're adding an extra 3rd place prize. So 2 of you are getting 3rd place. All right, so our first 3rd place team. And we just are, we're super excited for what we think you can do with this business. You're already hustling. You've created your own warehouse from the ground up. And we believe that you can go and start making your next products and get it out there. So Soulstice Shades. Congratulations. Of course, thank you. All right. Our second, 3rd place? No, there's no order. Another 3rd place. Because again, you guys, there's just so many things that made this hard to decide. But we love the mission that this team is going after. We think it can really make a difference. There's a ton of research and hard work to go from here to there, but we think that this team of 3 can absolutely do it. So SafeSip, congratulations. Thank you guys. All right, continuing to move along. For now, our 2nd place. What do we have? Oh, another one that we just believe that the mission is something that is super important, and the passion that this individual has definitely carried forth in our minds, our confidence that she can make a big difference with this. So the budget app, congratulations on getting 2nd place. And for our 1st place, we are excited to announce and hopefully use the product, because I think all of us have experienced this pain point already. TelePark, we can't wait to use it. Boston desperately needs this solution. Am I supposed to like wrap up and say something, or are we good?
No, we just want to thank
Perfect.
everyone for coming, and I already mentioned we expect to see all of you on the front page of Entrepreneur Magazine. So wonderful just a huge thanks to everybody for making this happen, and I think we'll see you next year. So take care.